Hi, a very good evening to everyone. We have today with us the team from BML Management, represented by Mr. M.V. Rajashekar, the Chairman and Managing Director, as well as the Director for Mining and Construction segment. We also have with us Mr. Ajay Srivastava, Director of Finance as well as Director for Defense and Aerospace. Along with him, we have Mr. Amit Banerjee, Director for Rail and Metro, along with the finance team. We would request the Mabel management to give a short presentation on BEML's Q1 results, post which we will start a Q&A round. Sir, over to you. Thank you.
So, very good evening to you all, and welcome to this small presentation on BEML. And I just give you a small brief. And last year, I think you all aware that we did very well, even in spite of the COVID pandemic. We did 15% better than the previous year, and we are continuing to do so. This first year quarters also are quite good. We did 451 crores compared to 391 crores of last quarter. And this year, the COVID wave was much stronger. We had more deaths, but still we didn't shut down our plants and we worked quite well. And that we have a robust order book position. 11,200 crores orders are on hand, with 4,500 crores in defense and 5,000 crores in rail metro and 1,700 crores in mining and construction. And the rate we are going, definitely will be showing another 15% growth at the end of the year with a good profit margins. So we are poised to make 4,000 plus crores turnover this year. That's on the business side. Second is on disinvestment. All the successful bidders, security clearance has come, and presently they have access to the data through virtual data room, and they are expected to give their financial bids in 3 months or so, time or so. And so it's on track. So disinvestment of BEML should happen by March. So the things are on track. And then our people, 92%, 95% people have been vaccinated. So therefore, we are prepared to work, we are prepared to produce and sell in the next 9 months without any interruption, even if third wave or fourth wave comes. So we are prepared ourselves very well. Now I request to go through the presentation, which our Anil Zarat, the financer, will be showing. Order is open to you, and you can put all your questions and queries to us, and we will be very happy to answer you. And to end, finally, I thank all of you for showing interest in BEML and for writing good things about BEML and for investing in BEML. I thank you very much. Keep continuing to do the same thing in the years ahead. Thank you. Zarat, over to you.
Yeah, good evening to all. I will show a small presentation on the financial results of the company for the quarter as well as for the previous year 2021. This is a shareholding pattern. Being a public sector, Government of India holds 54.03% of our total paid-up capital. After that, my mutual funds, Indian public and financial institutions having their shares, 17, 18 and 3%. And BEML is having its presence in India through manufacturing complexes of 4 numbers at Bangalore, Mysore, Kolar Goldfield and Palakkad. We are having 12 regional offices across India, 14 district offices, defense spare divisions 2 and activity centers 8. We have a presence in global market also. We have exported over 1200 equipments to 68 countries, and to capture our premium market, we have opened up office in Kenya as per the directives of our MOD. So key highlights for 2021 quarter 1 is turnover we have achieved 451, which is approximately 15% higher as compared to the first quarter of previous year. And similarly, VOP we have achieved 507 crores, which is approximately 18% higher than the first quarter of previous year. VOP per employee we have achieved till this quarter end 35 lakhs. R&D expenditure we have done to the tune of 4.77%. Order book position as on it's a 1/7/2021 11,211 crores. Human resource strength as on 1/7 is 5,844. Outsourcing as a percentage of VOP is 27, and procurement from MSME to the total domestic procurement is 31%. It's key highlights for the previous financial year 2021, where we have achieved highest ever turnover to the tune of 3,557 and the highest ever BOP 3,556 crores, with the highest ever BOP per employee also at the rate of 59 lakhs per employee. So highest ever R&D expenditure we have achieved 3.74 and highest ever order book position as on the end of the March 21, 11,363 crores. Highest ever green energy for captive consumption we achieved 94%. Sale on competition mode we had done 74%. Sale from R&D developed products it's 69%. Human resource strength as in March was 6,053. Outsourcing we had done to the tune of 49% and procurement for MSC is 30%. So this R&D expense in absolute term is 22 crores we have done at the end of the first quarter, and previous year we have completed 133 crores with a tune of 3.74% of our revenue. And 69% of our revenue from operation is from our R&D developed products. We are having three business segments: defense and aerospace, mining, construction, and rail and metro. Revenue in the first quarter, as I already told, 451, which is 16% higher than the previous year, the same quarter. Where the mining construction contributed 49%, defense contributed 15%, and 36% is our rail and metro. This is for the 2021, where we have achieved the highest ever turnover of 3,557 crores. Gross margin, though it's the first quarter, it is lower as compared to the previous years. It's a minus 62, and profit after tax, it's basically it's a profit before tax also 93 crores negative. BOP per employee we achieved 35 lakhs in the first quarter, and manpower strength is keep on reducing from 6,053 in March to 5,844 in June end. Inventory position, more or less we are maintaining as compared to the previous year. Being a first quarter, it's slightly on a high side because production and sale has to take care in the next 3 quarters of the year. Order book position, we are having 11,211 at the end of the June 2021 as compared to 11,363 crores of March end. Order book position during the first quarter, we have achieved 299 crores further orders and executed 451 crores. Indigenization we have done in mining construction more than 90%. Defense we have achieved 84% and rail and metro 66%. And the new initiative we have taken for manufacture and supply of medical oxygen plant during the second wave of pandemic. Till now, we have already supplied 43 units out of 80 units order we got it, and rest are in advanced stage of supplies. Atmanirbhar Bharat, we are now focusing on implementation of industrial design, human factors in all products, and we have done new products like 150-ton dump truck, 180-ton electrical excavators, unmanned train operation we have done for the Mumbai Metro, and mechanical minefield marking equipment in defense segment. Now our strategy to increase our export in the global market. For this we are widening our distribution network. Kenya office we have registered during January 21 to capture African market. Joint venture in India with the local firms abroad we are looking forward. Exim Bank opportunities, and we are also exploring opportunity through Chamber of Commerce, Embassy and Defense attaches. Presently, we are focusing on line of credit with Bangladesh for defense products, neighboring and African countries for mining, construction and rail products. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Rajshekhar sir and Anil sir for that introduction of BEML. So participants, if you have any questions, kindly raise your hands. Your line will be unmuted, or you can drop your question to me in the chat box. I can ask the question on your behalf. We have the first question from BNK Support. I think that would be Mr. Kunal. Please go ahead, Kunal.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. And congratulations on a good set of numbers. So my first question is pertaining to the, if you can give us some sense of about order pipeline and what are our revenue targets for the current year?
Okay, good, very good evening. And so thank you very much for that question. Yeah. Today, as Mr. Anis has shown, today we have 11,200 crores of orders in hand now. So we are expecting another 1,500 crores of orders by end of this year. The breakup is we are expected to get around 300 crores in defense business, 300 crores in rail and metro business, another 900 crores from mining and construction. So this is the breakup of orders we will be getting further in the pipeline. And what targets we are putting for this year is, like I told you last year, we achieved a growth of 15%. And this year also, we are expecting a minimum growth of 15-25% compared to last year. So it will be 4,000 crores plus. The best is we are expecting around 4,150 or so this year. Which last year at 3,557 was a record, highest ever turnover of BEML. And that will be breaking the record. This year it will be 4,000 crores plus for this financial year.
Okay. Sir, my second question is slightly strategic and long term. So if we look at the last 10 years for BEML, BEML has been in the revenue range of 3,500 crores to between 3,000 and 3,500 crores and not been able to, break above that. And even if we look at the margin, they are single digit margins. Whereas if you, over last various analyst meet, we have been indicating that our indigenization level has gone up. So I just wanted to understand what execution challenges that BEML inherently is facing for, not being able to cross that 3,000, 3,500 crores. And also if you can talk about margin, why margin are inherently in that single digits and what will it take, to take it to double digits?
Okay. In between, actually, we lost the voice, but still, I think for your continuation, we can get it. Yeah. Now, BEML has always been in the range of 3,000, 3,200, 300 crores only. I agree with you. Now, the present order book question, what we got 11,200 crores now, executable in the next 3 years. Now, these are the orders after a lot of technical difficulties and R&D clearances and that customer clearances and all that. Down, they are on track. And we have put all the execution strategies on track. They are working well. That is the reason we have shown as a BEML team, we have shown the last year. In spite of shutdown for 1.5 months, we did our highest ever turnover, 3,557 crores. Had the 1.5 months we had a lot lost, it would have been around 300, 800 crores or 300, 900 crores. And this year it will be definitely 4,000 crores. And now the 15% to 20% growth is certain because the things are on hand and definitely they'll be executed. Because most of the obstacles have been removed, technical clearance we have received. So it will be 500 crores jump will be there every year continuously. So from 3,500 crores to next year 4,000 crores and 2 years will be 5,000 crores. So now we will see the jump now because we had orders range in this range like this, 11,200 crores of orders with 4,000 crores plus orders executable this year. We were never in this position earlier, frankly. So now we got the opportunity and we will execute. We have a strategy also, which we have shown last year. We have proved. In just 10.5 months, we delivered 3,557 crores in 10.5 months. So this year, in 12 months, we will be delivering 4,000 crores plus. Then coming to profit margins. I just want to tell, one side we are very proud that we are in competitive market. 90% of the orders are executed in the competitive mode only. Only 10% is the nomination basis, that too in the defense side, some equipments from army. So therefore, there will be always stress on the profit margins when you are in the competitive mode. Because the multinational companies like Hitachi, Chinese Railways Corporation, Bombardier, Alstom, Komatsu, Caterpillar, all these companies are also desperate for orders in India. So therefore, together, in the competition, we really drop down the prices of the equipments. That's why profit margin is less. But however, we have seen 3,300 crores is the break-even point where 3,400 crores, most of our fixed expenses will be covered. From 3,500 crores, what we have now, every crore of turnover will generate higher rate of profit. It will be generating 18 to 20% of the profit above 3,500 crores. Every 1 crore will give a profit of 20 lakhs, about 3,500 crores. Therefore, when we get this 4,000 plus crores, and I am sure, today I cannot tell whether we will touch double digit or not, but significantly, it will be definitely 7% plus. 10% today I cannot predict, but 7% plus definitely it will be profit margin at Damari sir. Because our planned turnover for this year is 4,000 crores plus. That is 500 crores above the break-even range, where the fixed costs are, most of the fixed costs are covered. That gives us the confidence, that gives the team level confidence. Yeah.
Sure. So this 7% margin is, you're talking about FY22 or beyond in 23 or,
22, FY22 sir, this year, the current year is running now. Yes.
Okay. And sir, when you mentioned that some of the orders in the order book are technically difficult orders, and BML has built up its order book over the last 2 years. So is our supply chain geared up for this kind of execution? Are we facing really any supply chain issues, to meet this execution, targets?
Yes, sir. Very good question. Yes, there are definitely obstacles in supply chains. Therefore, we have put up now that procurement we have centralized. Earlier, divisions used to do the procurement. Now, procurement we brought to the corporate office. So it is headed by Executive Director Mr. Ranganath here. His continuous focus is to find out more and more sources, alternate sources. It's very essential, sir. Yes, we have to gear up. We have to find more and more sources, find more and more suppliers for these parts. And we are on track. We successfully found some sources for some components, but for some components we already found. So we are sure we will be successful, sir. So it's one of the most important strategic points for us to achieve this turnover, increasing the supplier base. If you stick on to this existing supplier base, we'll be struggling. By December, January month, we'll be struggling. So therefore, by December, we should establish in extra, particularly some areas, not all aggregates, some aggregates we have to add new suppliers. We will overcome this. So the things are put in place to find out alternate sources.
Sure. And
thank you, Kunal. We have a few more questions in the queue.
Sure. Then I'll come back in the queue.
You will come back. Thank you. The next question is from Mr. Manan Patel. Please go ahead with your question, Manan.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You can hear me.
Okay. Great, sir. Congratulations for fantastic numbers in last year. Sir, my first question is again on the order book. Sir, I wanted to understand, our order book has been building up for last 3 or 4 years, but revenues has remained stagnant. So I wanted to understand, is there any part of the order book which is stuck and which is not going forward?
Okay. So if you look at that profile of the order book what we have, 5,000 crores in rail metro, 4,500 crores in defense, and mining construction is around 1,700 crores, out of which around 600 crores is only executable this year. Further, we will get more and more orders, and in the same month they will be executable. Now, what happens in the rail metro is that you know that we won the Mumbai Metro order. This itself is a big, nearing 4,000 crores orders in the Mumbai Metro itself. So, initially, the procurement to receipt of the first stage of the materials to the clearance of the first train. This itself is normally for any metro corporation around 1.5 years time, sir. 18 months, 12 to 18 months time. So, this order we received about 2 years back, and now the trains are gone. 3 trains have gone. So, after 3 years only it will pick up. That's what I tell. The execution, the clearances all come, the execution has come on to track. I said because then on the Mumbai Metro, it has come. Now the first 3 trains are undergoing tests now. Once this is there, by this year, and I think Amit Banisha, we are supplying around 20 trains, no? Yeah. So that will be a big value addition. Same thing in the defense also. Because most of the defense equipments are not off-the-shelf equipments. They are developed. Railway Metro is a total development, never off-the-shelf equipments. Every time R&D is involved in each project, then it will be developed, then it will be executed, then it will be delivered. So therefore, there is a big time lag will be there. Defense also same thing. Except 30%, 40%, 60% of the products are new products only. We have to develop and execute. In case of mining construction, most of the products are off-the-shelf equipment only. Therefore, we already build them, putting them into stock, and then as an order comes, we'll just take out of the shelf and sell it. That is the reason the delay is there. So the order build-up what has started about 3 years back. When that time our order book position was around 5,000 crores also, it has gone to 11,200 crores. That is because it was all in the development stage. Now the Mumbai Metro and some of the defense segments, we have come out of the stage now. It is the execution stage this year. That's why I'm very confident of making 4,000 crores plus this year. And
Understood, sir.
the next year.
Yeah.
The next year. Next 3 years, the pipeline is 500 plus crores will come out extra from BEML.
That's great to hear, sir. Thank you for a very detailed explanation. Sir, second question is I wanted to understand. From largely what I understand, rail, metro, and defense business is a fixed contract business, and the mining is a shorter cycle business. So the commodities can be passed on in an easier manner. So I wanted to understand the bids that we made 3-4 years ago, as you mentioned, were large bids. So is there any chance that these bids with current commodity prices become loss-making when we execute the orders?
Yeah, that's a very good point. See, when we placed the purchase orders with the suppliers for these items, we told them very clearly, see friends, this delivery will start from 1.5 years, and from there it will take another 2 years. So our customers have told us that these prices are to be held for next 3.5 years. Friends, it's back-to-back contract with you also. You have to hold this price for 3.5 years. Not only that, when Mumbai Metro, when they are given an extra quantity for 126 cars, they told that not only the existing price, it has to be 7% less than the existing price. Same thing, we also negotiated with the suppliers back-to-back, and we got the concession from them. So this is there. So we put the condition very strictly in the tendering itself, while tendering stage we'll put it. And we'll say that main requirement is how to fix these prices for the next 3.5 years or 3 years. We could achieve that. We could do that. So therefore, or other way, when we quoted, the prices included this, the risk of inflation. We already covered. So therefore, order we received about 3 years back and executing today, this delay has not contributed to any loss or any negative impact. No, not there.
Understood, sir. That's very heartening to hear. And sir, last question on the employee side. So I have seen the employee count decreasing continuously from 11,000 odd to now only 6,000. But there has not been any commensurate reduction in the employee cost, which is around 850 crores right now. So can you explain us going forward, or why it has not decreased, and going forward, do you expect the employee cost in absolute amount to decrease?
Sir, actually, there is a certain natural increase in salaries of the people through their what you call DMS allowance increase and their basic increase. It is there. Suppose, imagine the employees have not retired, the employee cost would have shot through roofs. Because the employees are retiring, and still we are able to manage the cost within that. So maybe another 3 years or so, that increase in salaries of the people will be fully compensated by the number of employees, reduction in number of employees. That time we will see wage reduction cost. Probably I think next year, Janath, I think you may see, because 700 people are retiring this year. So end of this 2021 result, when you see, absolute salary cost of the people would have come down, sir, next year at that 22. That's what we guess. Because this year maximum people are retiring, 700 people are retiring. And the increase in salaries is less than this reduction. Therefore, definitely there will be reduction at the end of this year, 21-22.
Understood, sir. Fantastic, and all the best. Thanks a lot for answering questions so nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Manan. We have a next question from Mr. Rohit P. Please go ahead with your question.
Thank you for the opportunity. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, sir, audible.
Great. So first, thanks to the BEML management for doing this call and to doing this for the first time. It's highly appreciated. So my first question is on the disinvestment. First, if you could help us understand how many qualified bidders are in place for BEML right now, and second, what stage is the process in right now exactly? Is the due diligence over? Has the financial bid process started? So that's my first question.
Yeah. Okay. Now this disinvestment of BEML, the process is on track. I'll tell you the present status. Certain X number of people have given the expression of interest. Out of this X number of people, Ministry of Home Affairs has conducted security clearance, and they have given security clearance. They have given and cleared around Y number of people, bidders. So these people recently, just about last week only, that security clearance has been received. These people have been given access to the virtual data room, VDR. So they need this data for analyzing and preparing their financial bids. 3 months time has been given for them to come out with a financial bid. Then after that, the financial bid will be analyzed. The highest bidder, who will be called a successful bidder, he will be given the shareholder agreement and share purchase agreement for signing. So he has the time to execute everything and pay all the balance amount of around 4 months time. So today, the second stage has started. The first stage is receipt of the expression of that bids, that EOS, over. In between stage, intermediate stage is that getting the security clearance for these bids. Now second stage has started. They have been given access to the data, and they have been invited to give the financial bids in about 3 months time. So that's in second stage. So it's on track. So X and Y, to strategic reasons, even we don't know. We are not know. Who are these X and Y? We don't know. How many numbers also we don't know. We were told that once highest bidder is known, successful bidder is known, that time only we will come to know. I think everybody, the whole world will come to know that these are the people who have submitted their bids, out of which he is a successful bidder. That time we will know. Till that time, that means after 3.5 months, we will not know. Maybe the government and maybe transaction advisor, SBI Capital, they only will know. We will not know.
Okay. Once again, I want to reiterate what the previous participant mentioned. Thank you for your detailed answer. It's appreciated. A follow-up on the disinvestment question again. So when you talk about financial bids, my understanding was that it was going to be an auction process where the bidders will have to bid against each other. Am I right in that assumption? And at what stage of the process will the bidder name be announced? So once the successful bidder is decided after the financial bids are in, is that when it will be announced to the entire world, or is it going to be later, or that would be helpful to know?
No, that they are not specified when they will announce to the entire world or not. They are not specified. See, the thing is, whatever meetings we had, the shareholder document, share purchase document, it is how many board members will keep, how government nominees, how many should be there, how many years that assets have to be held, how many years that employees have to be retained. These conditions, these are the conditions we discuss, and that will be given to the private partner, these conditions. But whether it will be given to open to public or not, no, this is not a part of this one, that DIPAM will decide. See, what happens is the successful bidder himself may put an advertisement in a paper that I become a successful bidder of BEML. We don't know whether government will declare that or not. But as a BEML, we will not be doing.
Understood. And whether the process is going to be an auction process or not, if you could help me understand that, sir. When you say financial bid, what does it mean?
No, it is not auction. It is not auction. Highest bidder. After analysis, highest bidder will become the successful bidder. There is no auction. No, exactly no auction here. No auction. Highest bidder is the successful bidder.
Fair enough. That was helpful. And if you could also help us understand the demerger of the excess land. I did notice a recent press release that a wholly owned subsidiary has been incorporated.
But your call is getting cut.
but has the process begun? Have we sent the documents to SEBI and have we...
Rohit, we are not able
Sorry,
to hear.
am I audible?
But your call got discontinued, but I'm sure you were asking about that surplus lands, I think. That's in between I could hear.
Yes, what stage is the surplus demerger land process is in right now? That is all.
Okay. So
What stage? So have we submitted the documents to SEBI, etc.?
Yes, we submitted. See, I think you know that already Ministry of Corporate Affairs, they have already given the approval for incorporation. So after our MOD approval, we submitted all the documents to NSE and BSE. So I think BSE is already submitted to SEBI. I think NSE has to submit. They are submitting now. I think our reverse. NSE has submitted, BSE is just submitting today or tomorrow.
They have given the 21 days. They have uploaded on the website.
Yeah.
So anybody can have any query or any observation, objection, they can submit to the stock exchanges. Then it will go to the SEBI. It is
SEBI.
in that stage.
So but that as a timeline set, it is as per that now.
Yes.
It's going on.
Yes.
Understood. Can I squeeze in one last question, please?
Sure, Rohit.
Yeah, great. So, after every quarter result, we come out with some details on our inventory position, our order book addition, etc. So, in the most recent release at the end of 30th June results, it mentioned that our executable order book for this year is 4,300 odd crore. So, by that definition, if we have to execute 4,300 crore more for this year, our sales should be around 4,700 crore, right? So if you could help me understand this difference, that would be helpful.
Okay. See, when we say 4,300 crores out of the executable this year, as per the contract terms, the customers will accept if you supply. But in all probability, what happens is in between some item would not have come from abroad, some imported item, or some customer clearance has not happened. So finally, we may not realize this 4,300 crores. We may be realizing around 3,600 crores only from this. And 3,600, we already did 450 crores till now. So that means around 4,000 crores. But still we want to achieve another 200 crores. That means these 200 crores orders we have to grab from market further. And that we'll be getting it. So executable this year may not result in realization finally. They are executable but may not realize. So we need some more orders for this year itself to execute to achieve the 4,300, 4,000 crores what we are planning for this year.
Okay, that was very, very helpful. Thank you. I'll get back into the queue.
Okay.
Thank you, Rohit. I have received some questions from the participants. I'll ask on their behalf, sir. So every year, sir, we make provision for doubtful debts for our debtors. Do we actually write off any of this amount, or are they more of a provisional entry, sir?
No, we write off. Actually, what happens is, even though we give provision, we'll be keep fighting with, not arguing, discussing with the customer still. Like some equipment in the tough area should not have performed, and we will be telling you have not provided proper environment there, therefore equipment did not perform. So the arguments will go on. So once it is settled, then we are writing off. Actually, last year we wrote off around 40 crores. No?
26.
26 crores we written. Now till now another 16-17 crores we written off this year now. So before 3 years we didn't write off anything. We kept anything, but we started from last year. We were writing off. So last year 26 crores, and this year, this first quarter already we written off 14 crores. Around 40-45 crores we cleared now from the provisions.
Okay. Next question is, there has been a substantial reduction in working capital led by debtors in this last quarter at around 1,270 odd crores. Can we maintain the same level of working capital by end of FY22, by March 2022? What are your views on that, sir?
By March 22, slightly it may be more because of our higher turnover and orders more for the next year and all that. We need to keep slightly higher inventory levels. Therefore, I think it may be in the same range, but slightly, I think we need slightly more than that. Slightly more than that.
Okay. Recently, central government has decided to hike, and what kind of impact it can have on the profitability of BEML, if you have analyzed it and can highlight?
No, just can you repeat the first part? We missed. Central government
has decided to hike some DNS allowance recently, sir. So what kind of impact?
Okay. No. This DNS allowance, it is increases, not a sudden bonus also. Because of the corona pandemic, they have frozen.
Okay.
So that naturally, whatever they frozen, that they released today. And one more, the freezing is only for the executives. Executives make only 20% of the total employees. Otherwise, 80% of the employees only, for them it was not frozen, it was being given continuously. So impact will be very little. That is only in the form of the executive salaries only.
Okay. And one more question. You have an expectation of 1500 crores worth of order by 22, while you are expecting a revenue of 4000 plus crores. Would it mean that your order book will decline in this year, sir?
Yes. That's order book. Now 11,200 crores orders are there, and we get 1,500 crores, and we'll be executing more numbers. So it will be around 9,200 crores at the end of this year.
Okay.
But even that is huge. 9,000 crores is a huge. That will be 2 years turnover.
Sure, sir. And so you have already highlighted, what kind of order pipeline is there for this year. Can you also elaborate something for FY 22, 23 and 24 over the medium term?
FY 23-24, I think mining construction continues will be around 1,500 crores. And the railway metro, I think new one project will start. When is up? I think that will be some other metro will pick up. That will be around 800 crores, 900 crores. And defense definitely around 1,500 crores next year. So 1,500 crores, mining has 1,500 crores, railway metro around 1,000 crores. So 3,500 crores to 4,000 crores order booking will be there in next year, 23. For 23-24, then the next year. Yeah.
Sure.
For 22-23. Sorry, for 22-23. FY 23. Yeah.
Okay.
It just got muted there.
We lost your voice.
Sorry, sir. My apologies. We have a next question from BNK Securities. Kunal, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Sir, two questions, and one was just a clarification. Sir, you mentioned 3,500 crores order book, potential order pipeline for 23 or order booking possible for 23?
This is for 23. In 23, another 3,500 crores to 4,000 crores order will be booked in the next 23. In 23. Yeah. As I told you, in 2022, March 22, we will be ending with an order book position of 9,200 crores. Okay, sir?
Right, sir.
9,200 crores, we will book, as I said, 4,000 crores more orders will book in that year. So that means 9,200 plus 4,000, 13,200. And we are expected to cover 4,500 crores from this. So that next year, FY 23, we will be again at around 8,800 crores also at order book position. 8,500 to 8,800.
Sure, sir. And sir, my second question is pertaining to working capital. Sir, if historically our working capital, is always in that 250, 300, days. Sir, is the need of the business to keep such high working capital, or is there any ways where we can bring this working capital down substantially below 200 days?
See, sir, as I told you, the rail and metro and defense products, the cycle time is not short, it's slightly longer, sir. So it's 1 year to 1.5 years. And rail and metro may go to 2 years also. So in view of this, the working capital requirement in number of days will be slightly higher only, because for our products, they are not automobile products where order comes and tomorrow will deliver. Only mining, as I told you, only mining construction equipments only can be delivered like that. So therefore, last year, when we made 3,500 crores of turnover, so the market what money we'll get back from customers is around 3,000 crores. But this year, the turnover requirement is 4,500 crores. So further we have to buy material of 3,500 crores. Therefore, more materials we have to buy now this year. Therefore, working capital requirement will be higher. It will be higher, sir. It is normally less than 200 days is difficult to maintain. We need that 200 days. For our type of equipments, I think it's everywhere in Caterpillar Commerce also, that is the range are maintained. For the equipments. Ziraji, any comment? For the rail, these products they include initial R&D, development, proto testing, then final testing, then after that delivery. Therefore, we need that time.
Sure. And sir, my last question is pertaining to the land, that has been demerged into a separate subsidiary. Any sense of value of that land and, timelines of monetization?
What happens is that the issue is the land today is being sold by Government of India. We have to get no objection from government of state government, government of Karnataka, government of Kerala, government of Maharashtra, and government of Telangana. So strictly between governments, we cannot talk like a real estate business. It's very difficult. So therefore, market rate maybe 1,500 crores. But the government of Karnataka may say to government of India, come on, why you want 1,500 crores full money like this? You give some land to us, we'll develop, we'll put IT park, we may put software corp. This type of discussion may go on between governments, sir. Therefore, between, like, if you buy a home plot to me, and if I said to somebody, this type of transaction, money transaction may not be there between governments. That's it's a different side. If you go through pure market and just a real estate point of view and a pure market price, my Bangalore campus land itself will be 25,000 crores, sir. Or Bangalore land, 25,000 crores. 20,000 crores? Karadaji? Yes, right? 20,000. It doesn't mean that government of government of Karnataka pays 20,000 crores to government of India for this land.
Right.
That's the thing. That's what we also thought it will be like a real estate business. But between two governments, we cannot do real estate business. So that the governments will discuss and decide. Yes, sir.
Right, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you so much for such detailed answers, sir, and best of luck for future quarters.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Kunal. I also received some more questions from several participants, sir. So just wanted to check with you, how much of the mining segment order book is contributed by PSUs?
Oh, okay. So, okay. Last year, mining construction has done 1737 crores of business they have done, 1740 crores they have done business. Out of which 800, 600 plus 100, 200, 700, 800, 9,000. 1,200 crores PSUs only.
Okay.
But no, 1,380 crores, 1,380 crores for PSUs. But here you have to see, we got those orders from PSUs not through nominations, sir. Please understand. They didn't have any soft corner for us. They threw us in the market and for this 1,300 crores with Komatsu, Caterpillar, Hitachi, we fought like a street dogs and got these orders. So, somebody thinks that orders are from PSUs and we got a nomination basis. Sorry, how we get from a private companies, we got from PSUs also like that only. In absolute street fighting, we got these orders. We have shown our efficiency, we have shown our agility and got these orders.
Right, sir. Great to hear that. The next question is, so write-off which I've earlier mentioned on debtors, which was around 16-17 crores for this quarter. What should be our expectation for the full year, sir, for FY22 or 23, as a percentage of sales, if you can highlight?
Can you guess, is that anything? What it will be around?
This write-off will be based on once we get the approvals or settlement with the customer. So what is left out we'll do. So further, I think more or less in the same tune it will come as we have done the last year, maybe slightly higher.
As I told you, we didn't do for 3 years. We started last quarter. We started. So I think this year this will go on. Trend will go on. I think our internal target is to clear at least another 60-70 crores by end of this year. Right off around 60-70 crores just to clear off.
Okay. And there's some question from Mr. Rohit P. Sir, please go ahead with your question, sir.
Okay, sure. Thank you for the follow-up opportunity. So I was curious to know, with the new MMDR Act and mining auctions that have been taking place at different points in time, both coal and iron ore, is there increased demand for our mining and construction business today as compared to the past?
There will be increase in demand, but equipment profile will change, sir. So when Coal India operates, they operate with large size equipments. And when it comes to the private operators, when they operate, when they Coal India, when they operate through private operators, the private operators, they tend to go with smaller equipments and which will work only for 3-4 years and they throw them and go for new equipments. Therefore, normally mining equipment's life is around 12 to 13 years. And the small mines, they work with the equipments which work only for 3-4 years. They leave at this project and go and buy new equipments. Therefore, what happens is, capacity wise, it will come down to smaller equipments, but their number will go up substantially. So, capacity will come down and small equipment's numbers will tremendously increase. So, the volume will remain same. It will be like this only. If you in the rupee terms, in the business terms, rupee terms, the value will continue to be same.
Okay, understood. So my understanding was the MMDR Act and the auctions were expected to increase the production of ores in the country, like any natural resource in the country, both coal and iron ore. The government wants to increase the contribution of mining to the GDP and hence they are doing auctions so that the production increases. So I'm surprised to hear that with increased production, you expect the value of the whole mining equipment business to remain constant. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm talking about the BEML perspective. The number of equipment it will be same because when the private operators operate in the small scale, there will be equipment profile will change as I told you. So at the low equipment profile, even the number of equipments will increase. There are many players in that range in India. There are Hitachi, there are JCB. These people also can include that field that time. So therefore, same bread will be bigger bread will be shared among more people who eat. Therefore, in the mining construction side, my segment, that particular segment, will continue to be same only.
Okay, so what we are saying is that our competitive positioning is very strong in larger size dumpers, dozers, etc. as compared to smaller size. In larger size, the number of competition that we face is much lesser. Is that right?
Perfectly right, sir. In the smaller side, there are many players and like JCB and all, they are massive players. I mean, they are massive players in India. JCB, Hitachi, even Liugong, Chinese player, they are very strong in the lower end equipment, smaller equipments.
Fair enough,
So
understood.
volume will tremendously go up and they all will come into the client in that time. Yeah.
Sure, understood. So that is helpful, sir. Thank you. I'll get back into the queue.
Thank you, Rohit. The next question is from Mr. Manan Patel. Manan, please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity again. Sir, I wanted to understand our receivables are around 1,500 crores. So, wanted to understand, is there any retention money which has been there and which will be released once you start servicing Mumbai Metro orders?
Yeah, of course. These are typically, we have the performance bank guarantees and advance bank guarantees. So, because they paid in advance to us for mobilizing the resources for the Mumbai Metro, we give the bank guarantees, advance are there. At the same time, there are the performance bank guarantees we are given. As the contract closes 3 years and 4 years, the performance bank guarantees and the related money will be released. That will be there, it will be released.
Okay, so will it be substantial amount as a percentage of receivables?
No, it will be around 5%, 5 or maximum 10% in some few cases.
Yeah.
Otherwise 5 to 10, not more.
Not substantial, but it is a percentage, but not substantial.
Understood. Sir, my next question is just a clarification. When you mentioned that you will certainly be able to do 7% margin, so 7% is a EBIT margins or a PBT EBITDA or PBT margins?
I am hoping for PBT, sir.
Okay, fantastic.
We'll work for PBT. We'll work for PBT.
Okay. And sir, in our demerger documents, I was not able to find the Kolar Goldfield land, which is a very huge piece of land. So, is that not surplus, and are we not going to demerge that?
Yeah. I appreciate you, sir. You went through all the details. I mean, great. It's okay. Now I tell you, KJ plant. What happened was KJ plant is a freehold land, free lease land. So So therefore, government also did not take any money. That's all. So therefore, absolutely, government of Karnataka only holds on that land. So therefore, during the meeting with government of India, with government of Karnataka, the point was made very clear. This land was given free to BEML on a lease basis only for purpose of starting business operations and generating employment. So 967 acres were like, we could not set up any plant. We could use 930 acres. Another 967 we could not use at all. So when we said as per this is a free, you didn't pay any money that time also. Therefore, it is only natural that you have to give us back. So yes, it's a truce. It's a natural justice. So they have taken back the land, remaining land. So therefore, it doesn't form part of that surplus land package.
Understood, sir. That makes sense. And sir, last question: for a company of our caliber and capabilities, our export revenues have been a very small percentage of the total revenue. So, can you throw some light on the opportunity size there and kind of bids we are putting in the export market?
Okay. As I said, like the last, only about 5-6 years back only we made some export business we did, but last 5-6 years it's quite dull. 1. 2 is, now the government of India has started with many African countries and South Asian countries, the line of credit they are providing, and they are insisting that they have to give the orders to the government of companies from India. So that advantage has started with Exim Bank working, providing all the loans and all that. These advantages started only last year. Now, government of India also now is very keen to improve the exports now. So from our side it's working well. Therefore, last quarter, suddenly we got order from Bangladesh, 28 crores of orders we could execute. This year, 175 crores of orders we got already from Cameroon. So which will be executing. This again against the line of credit from government of India through Exim Bank. So we are executing. So with all the things set on, and further we are expecting big orders from defense equipments also, particularly the Sarvata bridges and the logistic vehicles and all that. Not necessarily this year. I think FY23. I think definitely we'll be looking at around 100 crores of exports in the defense equipments and around 150 crores of equipments in the mining side. So this year it will be 175. Next year it will be around 250. And at this range, maybe another FY24 should crack at metro also, rail metro business also, the exports. So we are planning today targeted around 500 crores in the next, after 4 years, FY26 we should touch around 500 to 600 crores in exports.
Understood, sir. That's very helpful and thanks a lot and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Manan. We have a next question from Mr. Arafat. Please go ahead. Hello. Hello, Arafat. Can you hear us?
I think mute the mic. Just I think what I've muted.
His line is unmuted, sir. I don't know.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Arafat, please go ahead.
Yeah. My first question is on your valuation of Bangalore Hospital. I guess that is also part of BML, right? So where that will go?
Hello?
No, it is a part
Yeah.
of BML operation.
It is a BML surplus land.
No, not.
Hospital.
Yes, yes.
Hospital surplus land.
Surplus, so not a part of operation.
Yeah, it is not a part of operational, it is a surplus asset only.
Okay. Fine, sir.
It goes to
And my
the
next
company.
question, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine, sir. Sir, my next question is margin, sir. Just want to understand what kind of margin you can deliver in next couple of years. Any idea on that?
Oh yes, sir. This year by FY22, today we are working out to give you at least 7% on PBT basis, 7% of turnover.
Okay.
But that's our target for
Any-
FY23.
Okay. So any lever on that, sir? How you can expand margin? If you can throw some light on that?
See, first of all, as I told you, that main thing is all these orders we already received. So we cannot do anything getting higher price and all that. 75 to 80% of the orders required for this year we already received. So we don't have any control of the price there. Here the mantra is to do as much turnover as possible, high as possible. That is our target, that we are targeting on execution. That one is, as I told you earlier, 3,500 crores if I cross, 3,400 crores if I cross, every 1 crore turnover will give higher rate of profit. I am expecting around 18 to 20% turnover profit will come after 3,500 crores on every 1 crore of turnover. Therefore, our target is to ensure that we make 4,000 plus crores turnover this year. So we are online, we will achieve this. So with that overall, we must be getting around, once we cross 4,100 crores, 7% PBT range is guaranteed. So my finance set, I think it can certify. I should cross 4,100 crores, not below that.
Fine, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arafat. I think we have one more question from one of the participants. Is there a similar risk that you find what has happened to KGF, anything on Bangalore and Mysore land?
KGF land, as I told you, the government has taken back. So for Bangalore land and Mysore land, the discussions are going on between governments. Like government, we are asking Mysore, we demanded Mysore that KADB that they should execute sale deed in our favor and they should give NOC for monetizing this asset. Same thing, Bangalore also put up a demand to the ministry, the government of Karnataka. Government of India wants to monetize this, please give her NOC. So the discussions are going on between governments. So government of Karnataka may say, as I told you, may say to government of India, why do you want to monetize, give the land back to us at some, I don't know at what cost, because we want to develop industries, we want to develop MSMEs, we want to develop IT parks, that all they may tell, government may tell. So the discussions are going on still.
Okay, sir. I think this was all from our side, sir. If any participants have any questions, kindly raise their hand or you can drop me the question on the chat box. I think there are no further questions, sir. I think we have answered all the questions very well. Elara Capital and we would like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to host this BEML first quarter call. And we wish you all the best for the future and hope to see BEML at new heights, sir.
Thank you very
congratulations
much,
and all the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you for organizing this. I thank all the people here who have come here and thank you very much for keeping interest in BEML. Thank you. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank
you, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you all participants for participating in the first quarter call.